Alright, now in this video I want to show you how the simplicity of what this business is about. This is a variegated Weigelia cutting. I just pulled this out of my mist bed, out of my the propagation bed, which is behind me here. We stuck this thing this summer, and as you can see, this thing has just got a massive root system on it. Now, that plant right there, I can sell these things all day long from anywhere from 65 cents to 90 cents a piece in quantity. I could probably sell them to a retail customer for $2 or $3 a piece if I wanted in a container. I can pot this thing up now, and by next spring it's going to just explode with branches, and this thing will be worth $4.97 all day long. So, but what I want to show you is the simplicity of this thing. The cutting that we stuck, we probably stuck this thing sometime in June or July, was probably right there, the actual cutting itself, maybe up, maybe here. This thing is actually, excuse me, is actually put on probably 2 or 3 inches of growth in the plant propagation bed that we had it in. So, and I do, I think one of the things that I really want you to understand, and behind me I've got 2 beds of stuff that is either rooted or rooting. We stuck a lot of stuff in the last, month or so, trying to get geared up for the winter. And trust me, I wouldn't be doing all that work and making all those cuttings if I didn't know that I couldn't sell them down the road. I mean, that's what I like about this business, is you create a product that you can sell later and people will eagerly give you money for it. That's a great business to be in, where people are willing to eagerly give you money. So basically, this is a cutting. We did this as a softwood cutting. These things can also be done as hardwood cuttings during the winter months. Variegated Weigelia, a lot of different Weigelias. Great seller because this thing blooms with pink and white flowers. But I want to show you. This is a propagation flat. You can, like I said, you can use a dish pan with holes drilled in it. You can use an aluminum, one of those aluminum tins that you get at the store that you cook a turkey in or whatever you do with them. This thing is 11 inches. 11 inches this way, 17 inches this way. That's a total 187 square inches, if I have my math correct. 1 cutting per square inch. So you can root 187 cuttings in this flat or dish pan or whatever it is if you sold them for only 65 cents a piece. And I've got customers that as soon as you put them out there, if I listed these things and put them on sale for 65 cents, they would sell like that. So it's 65 cents a piece. This flat will hold $121 worth of plants. So in an area this big in your backyard, you can make $121. So I mean that's that's insane to think about that. This is I don't know, that's probably a square foot. So this is 187 square inches. So a square foot's 144. So this isn't that much bigger than a square foot. $121. Now, basically what we do with them is we take these things and we pot them up in this little 497 pot. We put them in here. You're going to pot them. Important that you don't put them in real deep. You want the roots to be covered with about 3, right where my thumb is. That's about as high as I want the soil, the bottom of my thumb. That's about as high as I want the soil. So I fill this pot with soil, then I put my cutting in there, then I put a little bit of more soil on top of that and pack it in good and tight, because planting things too deep is not a good thing. So when you're potting, you definitely want to keep them up high like that. Just cover the roots. Now, important to remember that until this cutting makes roots and fills this pot, it can dry out easily. So you're going to want to keep them watered until they get some roots down into the lower part of the potting soil. So anyway, this little 497 pot, this thing is like a money machine, because these things are really, really inexpensive. And I'm trying to find a good supplier of these things so I can make them available to my customers, people like you, for right around, I don't know, I hope I can do it for less than 15 cents a piece for the container. A lot of growers are using this, this is a trade 1 gallon. You can see the difference in size. And you know, there's nothing wrong with this, but these things are probably at least 30 cents a piece, and they use a lot more soil. I love growing in these small pots because I can get away with a considerably less soil, and my customers love to buy these things in this size pot because it's you don't have to dig a lot of hole, and you can pick them up and carry 3 in each hand. People buy them for $5. They don't have to worry whether or not it's going to live or die. It's not a big thing. I mean, they spend that more than that at Starbucks day in and day out, or at McDonald's or wherever. So that's what I like about the growing small plants and putting them in this 497 pot, because it's not a big buying decision. They buy them impulsively, and they love mixing and matching, and we've got a huge selection, and that's what they really like. You know, probably one of the things I want you to get your head around is you could specialize in just one plant. I've got a number of different things that I know that if I grew just that one thing, I could sell a ton of them all day long. And because there's always somebody looking for rooted cuttings like this. One of the things that's going on in the industry right now is when in 2008, when things really slowed down, the nursery industry, kind of like all industries, including the automakers, the big three in Detroit, everybody went into reset mode, and they went back to a previous point in time, and they put their businesses back where they were before that boom up until 2008. So a lot of these big nurseries, and even some of the smaller ones, have cut back on the amount of stuff they propagate themselves, and they're more willing to buy. I buy a ton of stuff because I propagate the stuff that I can do easily. Other things that I can't do quick enough, or I don't have a stock plant to get cuttings from, I buy them from somebody else. I mean, I buy plants by the thousands. I'm getting ready to buy probably 250 Green Giant Arborvitae. I'm getting ready to buy 100 Betty Magnolia, 100 Solangiana Magnolia. So there's always somebody who's out there looking to buy plants, because if you've got a market that you can sell to, you need plants to sell them. And people always get caught off guard because they have 100 or 500 or 1,000, and then next thing you know, they need more. I've got a good friend who's a nursery stock broker in the wholesale industry. He told me this spring, he said there wasn't an 18-inch burning bush to be had anywhere. So anybody who had 18-inch burning bush in the ground or in a container sold them like that. And they got good money because the market took off and got away from them, and all of a sudden there's a shortage of burning bush. So that's why it's always a good idea to have stuff on hand, because you never know who's going to come along and want a bunch of it. So you could specialize in one plant. That's how you start this business, how you grow this business. This is how you start right here. Right? This is how you get started. A flat like this, 2 flats, maybe 4 flats later, and next thing you know, that's why you're not putting a lot of money at risk to do this. You're not sticking your neck out. You're gardening. Is all you're doing. You're gardening in your backyard, and you're going to grow some plants, and you're going to quietly sell them. And you know what? I've got customers who every single day are taking plants just like this forsythia cutting. This Weigelia cutting, and they're bare root, sticking them in a priority box like this and sending them off. You know, I've done videos, I've shown people plants that I bought from other customers. You can probably get, I don't even remember what it was. I thought it was $120 worth of plants I bought that got delivered in a box just like this from one of my customers. And I'm going to show you those plants in the next segment in this series. What I bought, how well it's doing, and why I'm going to quickly and easily get $4.97 for it. So anyway, it's something I want you to think about. This 497 plant is like a money machine, or this 497 pot is like a money machine, but you don't even have to do this. You can sell this all day long. People are willing to buy this.